I've been quiet for too long, now the walls breathe lies. Every handshake feels fake, every smile disguised. Told me play nice, keep calm, but you can hear the cracks. I've been bleeding through the seams just to watch my back. If the truth burns slow, let it burn through the room. If the mask falls off, then it fell for a reason too. I'm done talking in circles, done swallowing doubt. If honesty's a weapon, I'ma carve my way out. Yeah, keep it honest, I'm tired of the cap and the chatter. Everybody wanna flex like they real, but it's all backwards. I came up, all the struggle, I ain't faking my route. I don't whisper when I talk, boy, I'm calling it out. You ain't built for the way, but you post it online. Say you grind every day, but your hustle don't rhyme. Say the truth too heavy, well, that's something I live. We don't lie in my circle if we talk in this direct. Keep it honest, let the face fall off. Truth cut sharp, but it's worth that cost. Keep it honest, stand tall on foes, built on truth, ain't never.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Keep It Honest podcast on a little bit of a different night and time for this week. How's everybody doing? Gary, how are you?
We're doing well. Had a great day today so far.
Good. That's good to know. I did too. I was a little kind of apprehensive once I started realizing that my vacation is coming to a close. I only have like 8 days left and then I'm back in the saddle. So it's always something when you realize that, your vacation's about to be over. But, other than that, it's been good. So I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. How was your New Year, Gary? Did you spend time with your family?
Yeah, of course. We definitely spent time with the family and had a great time.
Awesome. I, for the first time in many years, spent New Year's Eve all by myself. And I have to tell you, my kids were, either at a friend's house or with friends or family. And I went and watched Avatar, the third installment, and had wine. And honestly, I was quite okay with it. I thought I'd be kind of sad, but it was quite nice. So good start to a new year. I see somebody talking about Stranger Things in the comment, which is funny. My kids are addicted to Stranger Things right now, and I find it hard to watch. I do not like it. But maybe that's just me being 40 now. I don't know. I don't find the same things. Have you seen Stranger Things, Gary?
Not one episode.
Oh. Me either. I take that back. Not me either. I watched the first 2 seasons and then I was done. So anyway, good to see you guys here tonight. We have a conversation ready to ensue about our first product that we are going to be bringing to the Honest Car Care brand. Gary, do you want to tell them what our first product is? I think we've already kind of talked about it, but
hey, you got it. I think it's your wheelhouse, if you will.
No pun intended. You guys all know how I feel about wheels and tires. They bring me the most joy to clean. So of course, wheels and tires are the first product on our list. And so today we're just going to kind of be talking about, what our expectations are in terms of a wheel and tire cleaner, what it should do, what it shouldn't do. I don't know about you, Gary, but when I am detailing a car or when I see a car, if I see a car that looks pretty clean but has dirty wheels and tires, it just makes the whole car look dirty. Like, I don't care how clean your paint is. I don't care if you have a ceramic coating on. If you have dirty wheels and tires, your car looks dirty. I've always felt that way. Wheels just make everything. It's kind of like tying it all in, right? It's like that perfect accessory that just completes the outfit. I don't know. That's just me. But how do you feel about wheels and tires, Gary? I think we've talked about it, but I'm not sure you're as big of a fanatic as I am.
No, I love wheels and tires. I'm still learning how to use acid and stuff like that. I brought that into the equation a little bit longer ago, so I'm hoping we have the opportunity to speak to that. And I think there's an elephant in the room in the chat. There's a little bit of chatter, so let's just cut to the chase and keep it honest. I messed up the last episode. The audio and everything was pretty messed up. My computer failed, and I put out a product that wasn't good enough. So I just want to kind of clear the air. The episode got pulled first time in Thor history. It wasn't taken lightly by everyone, and it was a failure on my part. So I just want to kind of get that out in the open, and yeah. So we'll just keep that moving, and hopefully we can have a better episode today, and the future looks pretty cool. So
Awesome. Let's just get into conversation about wheels and tires. Let's talk about what is a wheel and tire cleaner? What is the purpose of a wheel tire cleaner? And I really hope that the chat can really kind of hone in when we are talking about wheels and tires, because initially we're trying to create a product, obviously, for you guys, for everyone, right? And there obviously are different specifications, things that people enjoy, things they don't enjoy. And I'm just curious to hear everybody's expectations, because that obviously plays a big part when we are creating these comments. Right? Sorry, creating these comments. Look at me, I'm reading comments and I'm seeing comments in my head. When we are creating a product, we want it to be something that everyone will enjoy. Obviously, it matters what we enjoy, but I want to hear what the masses have to say. So, for me, in a wheel and tire cleaner, I want something that's going to remove every bit of contamination, right? Your brake dust, your oils, your road film, whatever it might be. I want it to be pristine. Can you say, Gary, that that's what you would expect, or what do you expect when you clean your wheel and tire?
Clean wheels and tires, a nice clean space to be able to apply any type of dressing. I like a nice thick shiny dressing. I know that's not for everybody, but that's kind of one piece of it. And I usually see about 3 different versions, right? You have your iron remover, you've got your acid, and you've got usually some sort of alkaline substance.
Yeah. Somebody had said in here something about touchless. I think it was, yes, I want near touchless. Touchless is nice, right? I understand that being able to spray a product on or foam a product on and not even having to agitate, like that's what everybody wants, right? Like the easiest, most self-sufficient way of cleaning a wheel and tire. Obviously, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you need agitation. So I guess my question then, let's just kind of jump right into it. Let's talk about acid versus non-acid wheel cleaners. Now, Gary, I know you and I have a little bit of a different opinion here. And I do have an acid cleaner. It's Ragnarok. I'm not sure if you've ever used that one from the House of Rags, the Ragnarok, which is absolutely amazing. It's amazing. It is damn near touchless. But I am often scared to use acids. And I guess I will say scared. I don't know if that's the right word to use. And maybe it's just because I'm not educated very well in acids. But you like acids because they get the job done, I'm guessing. Or let's talk to me about your approach, because you don't mind an acid. And I know a lot of people don't mind acids.
Well, it took me 5 or 6 years to start using acid. Yeah, I've just noticed recently when experimenting that they obviously clean really well. That 2-step approach with the acid and the base is really nice. But there are going to be some issues that when you get to aftermarket wheels, I think bases are just a little bit more forgiving. That's kind of what I've found so far. So I'm still experimenting on it. The jury's still out, but they are really effective.
Yeah, and they absolutely are. Like, obviously, the idea behind an acid, right, is something that works aggressively and really fast, right? I mean, that's how I see it, I guess, aggressive and fast. And I think it's the aggressive part that just kind of gets to me, because I kind of feel I don't have a problem with putting in a little more elbow grease. Like, if it takes me a minute or 2 longer because I actually have to do a little more cleaning, I kind of feel like I'm okay with that if it means that I don't have to be scared for my life when I'm using this product or when I'm inhaling it. But I don't know. I don't know that everybody shares that. So I'm interested to see what the chat thinks. I know there are certain people like Carlos Serrano from, oh my gosh, totally just slipped my mind. Serrano, you guys know who I'm talking about. My goodness gracious. Today's a day. He loves acids. Like, he'll tell you use an acid all day long. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten there yet. So maybe I just need more practice with them. But when we're talking about creating our wheel and tire cleaner, I kind of feel that I want to go to the non-acid route. However, do we still need an acid in our lineup? What is your idea behind that?
I mean, me personally, I just think it continues to, it just depends on the customer, right? There's limitations when it comes to shipping and where you can even sell, like, let's say, hydrofluoric acid. I know somebody who is really, really kind of big in that thing, truck washing and stuff like that. And they've actually gotten in trouble quite a bit for spilling acid during shipments and things like that. It's really nasty stuff. There's a lot of fines that you can get, and they can shut it down to where you can't use that shipping service anymore. And imagine if we were responsible for doing something like that to Thor, that could be completely detrimental. So it's definitely something we have to consider.
Yeah, and then just I think about, like, the other substrates on a vehicle, like, am I gonna burn paint if I accidentally get, like, acid on a part of the car that I shouldn't have? Like, it brings a whole new perspective, you know what I mean, to being safe while you clean. I'm not sure. I know that obviously the chemistry is a big part, and I think we're learning and creating chemicals, which is something that I've never really thought about. Like, you usually you get a product and you use it and you figure out whether you like it or not. But I don't know about you. I've never really thought about what goes into making a product or what makes it safe or unsafe. So this is uncharted territory for me, but it's interesting. It's interesting to learn this side of it. Absolutely. You know. There's a couple of comments in here. Is HEC wheel and tire cleaner safe for mat? Well, at this point, you guys, we are still in testing phases. So we don't have a finished product at this point. That is the first product that we are going to come out with. We have started testing. We are continuing to test, and we should have something for y'all very soon to try. So I'm very excited about what we are putting together, but let's talk expectations. So while I have certain expectations, I'm sure Gary has certain expectations. I want to know, what are people's expectations? Because this is where it gets interesting. And Glossy Chris, I am the same. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not an expert in the chemistry side of things. And I'm also not an expert on different substrates of wheels. So this has been really interesting, to say the least. So I am just trying to figure out, what do the people want? Like, what do people expect when you clean a wheel and tire? Do we want speed? Do we want foam? What about you, Gary? Do you care if it foams or not?
It's got a foam.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I've used wheel and tire cleaners that don't foam, and for me, I don't know what it is. I don't feel like I get the same satisfaction. Is that the word?
Yeah, man.
It's not as fun, right?
At the end of the day, I think both of us are influencers. It's just easier to articulate something happening when that foam is there, right? When they see the foam, it turns brown. Oh my gosh, it's cleaning. All right, let's move on, right? And the more I've learned through this process, that the more I talk, usually the worse the video is going to be. When the chemical is doing everything, I don't have to talk as much. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to get to the intricacies of any of this stuff or try to act like a chemist.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think products should speak for themselves, right? Like, when you see them on camera. And I think that's why, like, I'm a big believer in testing and testing and testing, because if I have to see it to believe it, you know what I mean? Like, I have to experience it. What about speed? Like, do you expect instant results? Like, do you expect a touchless? Do you expect, like, if I'm cleaning a tire and it browns the first time, do I expect only like a one pass and I don't have to clean it again? There are some, when I'm cleaning a wheel and tire, there's sometimes I have to do more than one pass on the tire before I feel it's clean. Like, what, do you mind doing that, or do you expect that speed to be part of your efficiency?
Well, I learned from the great Ivan LaCroix that you shouldn't be trying to remove all the browning off the tire. It's a complete waste of time, and it actually can damage the tire over time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy with that whole, mindset, but that's who I've learned a lot of things from. Obviously, Penn and a lot of other people. and just my own trial and error. We had 2 details this weekend. It's a great time. So um, I am okay with there being a little bit of browning as long as it can still be covered up and look good and clean with a nice dressing, usually a little bit above a matte finish, is where a lot of people like. I like to go a little bit glossier. So it's all just
Yeah.
trial and error.
Yeah. I am learning to like a little bit of a glossier donut on a tire. I know I have always been kind of that matte like OEM finish, but for some reason lately, like I haven't minded a little bit more gloss. And I know a lot of people aren't with the gloss. Some are, but I want immediate results. Like I want to see browning immediately. For me, if I see browning, I know it's working. If I don't see browning, I feel like the chemical is not strong enough. And whether or not that's the right frame of mind, I'm not sure, but that's how I roll. If I'm not seeing it brown, if I don't see dirt starting to slide off my wheels and tires with the cleaner, then I'm not going to say it's a good cleaner. And then with the foam, obviously for dwell time, especially in the summer, like with an iron remover, you don't want iron removers to dry on your wheels. So being able to spray a foam over it for that extra dwell time, for that clean, to me, foam is important. Like I think that's a no-brainer. Hopefully. What do you think about smell? Do you care about how a product smells?
Not really. I mean, hopefully it's not super caustic. I'm getting better. Like when I first started out, you're just using like Super Clean and Dark Fury and like all this caustic stuff. And I had a hard time understanding like, well, what is the difference between these higher end brands or, what chemical structures they're using? But usually it just amounts to like safety, like being able to have acid level cleaning power, but it's safe, right? I think
Yeah.
that's where the real science and the real intricacies kind of come in. And that's kind of what I'm learning.
Yeah. I hear or see people talking about coughing. I think we had this during testing too. Like the minute I used it, I was choking. And that I was like, it took me a minute to catch my breath. I do not appreciate that. Like the minute it hits me in my throat, I'm like, ooh, okay,
And
I can't use it. Yeah,
I think that's what's so unique because like there is a frame of mind that's just like if I'm near death, like this is some good stuff, right? So once again,
but
it just comes down to are we cleaning an 18 wheeler? Am I cleaning a a work truck? Or am I cleaning like my buddy has a 2019 one of like 4 Mustang that was ever created? Am I just gonna go and get like whatever hydrofluoric container of acid out and just like all over the car? Probably not, like
yeah.
wouldn't be able to be too successful doing that. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And then it kind of brings it to the question too, is when we are creating this wheel and tire cleaner, like obviously we want to create it to be safe on as many substrates as possible, right? Your aluminum, your chrome, anodized, whatever it might be. Even bare aluminum. I feel like there are so many, cleaners that are not safe for all finishes. Like I would like a wheel and tire that anybody could use. Um, is there a difference between what we're going to make on, are we creating this for your everyday vehicle? Are we creating it for a vehicle that sees lots of brake dust? Or are we creating it for big rigs? What I think that is also a question, like what degree of cleanliness are we going for? One where people have to agitate several times if it's, super dirty, or one pass. I mean, there's just so much that go into it that I don't know that I ever thought about. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about creating a chemical,
yeah, I
you
think
know?
that's why the term the best or it's so arbitrary, right? Like the
Yeah.
best for somebody, I can make the most powerful tire and wheel cleaner. You put it on there for a half a second and just zaps the wheel and it's clean, right?
Yeah.
And then that runs off into the sewage drain and like is terrible for the environment. And somebody's gonna be like, that's the worst cleaner ever, right?
Yeah.
So it's so personal. And I think the important thing is, and I think we established this, and we've got some guys asking for
And I
uh
do have some footage. Yeah.
yeah, I think the thing that we need to establish is what is our standard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And however, even me and you, right? We found out over the week when we were doing the testing, we are going to test things differently and get to whatever result differently. But as long as our process gets to the same goal and it's consistent, that's what we know what our mark is at. So where did we agree where we wanted to be as far as for our consumer and our customer from a dilution standpoint? I think we came out with kind of two standards.
Yeah, I think for like a wheel and tire, we were saying 1 to 5, correct?
Yeah.
Um, and just speaking of, wheels and tires, if we could have a banger of a product that you can dilute 1 to 5 and it be good, that to me would be amazing. Absolutely. I mean, obviously dilutions are going to vary dependent upon the dirt level of your wheel, right? Some might, use it straight. Some might use it 1 to 1, 3 to 1. But 5 to 1 would be a very good standard dilution ratio. If it can hit hard at 5 to 1, I think that's a great product. I know there's a lot of wheel and tire cleaners, that are 1 to 1 or 3 to 1. So pushing that dilution back a little bit and allowing it to still be a good product, I think would be amazing if we could achieve that. Absolutely. I can show you guys now. Hold on, let me make sure I think I remember how to do this. Okay.
Yeah, and while you're posting that, once again,
Okay, let me
last week we had some issues with the camera, and that's why I was on there in that very beginning part quite a bit. Lost a little bit of footage and trying to mess with the audio to fix it, and it was just me a lot. There was a lot more footage of both of us towards the end, and we didn't make it to that point because I did such a terrible job putting it together. So feel free to pile on, but we hope we can save it and hopefully you enjoy the footage here. So
okay, so I think it is this one here. Let me know if you guys can see it. Can you
Yep.
see this?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you guys can tell me what you think, whether or not I can't see the comments, Gary, so you'll have to talk to me or let me know what they're saying. Pretty dirty wheel. I mean, it's not the worst because again, I like to clean wheels and tires, but it's been raining. And so things are pretty filthy. All right, guys, this probably isn't the best footage. It's about 2 minutes long, but
Yeah. So we can probably speed it up or whatever, but I just want to I just remember kind of where you were at on this. And one thing you really loved about this product in
I can see
particular
it. Yeah.
was that it didn't have that blowback. It didn't smell bad or anything like that. Now, that being said, that was a RTU formula, right? So it's not going to be
Yes.
the most powerful thing. So that was something we were kind of.
And here I was just using it as a touchless. I was trying to see, how much clean. You could see the brown. You could see, dirt being,
Yeah.
removed. But this definitely needed agitation. So you'll see.
Okay.
So you could see there that there's still, okay, sorry.
No, this is a whole folder. But
sorry.
yeah, no,
I'm still learning how to do this, guys. And I have a
Yeah.
couple more I've got to go through. And I'll be honest with you. And for me, I have got to get better at like organizing my drives because I throw video in, but I need to be better at renaming it. So
they're not lying, dude. This
it's
is
hard
what.
to go through.
Woo! Yeah.
So again, that was one of the ones that we tested. Was it, did I think like, wow, this blows my mind? Like, no, I didn't. Did I think it was an all right cleaner? Yes. So, then comes the conversation, like how good is good? And if this, you know what I mean? And here's the thing, I don't know if anybody else in the chat can agree. I have used things like the Yum system, you have Ragnarok, you have Hard Wash. I'm using things like Luminous Blaze. Like when you have those types of wheel and tire cleaners as your base, it is very hard then to use anything else and try to figure out like, how good is it compared to what I think is good? Because that's a long shot. Like,
And
I don't think you've used Blaze or Luminous yet. Like and Yum wheels, like they are just powerhouses of cleaners. So I feel kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like cheated in a way, because I don't know that I'm going to look at anything else and think it's good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think there's still a little confusion on what we're trying to do, why it's taking so long, and there's people that are aware of the footage. So I'm what we're going to be doing now is we're on our own separate channels. It was a lot of logistics trying to get your footage, my footage, the audio correct, edit that. It was just very long. Me and you are on phone calls that are like 2 hours sometimes. And then if we record that whole thing and we're trying to bite that down into something, who knows how long that's going to take. I tell you guys, the last video took me 20 hours at least. So it's just really tough. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So as far as all the cleaners that we've tried so far, I think I have a video that's going to come out probably tomorrow on the own personal channel here on YouTube. And it's going to go over kind of all those. And I'll go over kind of what my testing process looks like, kind of reiterate where we want to be from our different dilutions, right? And then you're going to do that on yours. And then I think we'll react to those moving forward. So we've kind of got a good surplus of different products to kind of pick from right now.
Yeah.
But our process has been extremely unique to this point because we are having conversations with other, existing businesses and looking for doing collaboration for charity, essentially. And then we're going to rally around a product or formulation and make some different tweaks for our consumer and for that market. So I think that is something that we maybe weren't prepared that was going to take just so much time, especially around the holidays, getting on everybody's schedule. I mean, it's been challenging. It's taken up a lot of time.
Yeah. And I will say the holidays, I think, have been the hardest piece. Because of course, like, we're spending time with family and we're doing Christmas, and you had a son, or right, that had a birthday. My daughter's birthday's Christmas Eve. So I get the whole, the time constraint there. But we are definitely going to move forward with doing our testing on our own channels. So you said you have a video coming out. I will have a video coming out on Monday. I'm in the process of editing it right now, just to kind of show, again, the testing, aspect. So like he said, what we'll do is we'll test and then we come back and talk about what we're testing. But we hope to have a wheel and tire cleaner out by the end of the month. We're trying. We're going to see. I don't know. We're trying.
Yeah. At this point, we hope to have a full product line, by the next SEMA. And that date doesn't seem like it's that far. It seems far away now. But that we are not just testing this one thing. We are testing a lot of different things at once. But as far as putting the things out, there's just a lot that has to go into it. I mean, you could spend 3 months just trying to decide what bottle to put something in or what sprayer or whatever. And, we are all learning that. And once again, detailing was never either one of our full-time jobs. That's a full-time job for a lot of people. Developing a product company, full-time job for a lot of people. Branding, full-time job for some people, right? So we are devoting as much time as we can to this. And we are doing what we can, definitely. And also I did see something in the chat that somebody's family potentially is in our car crash. Just let you know.
Yeah, very sorry.
Really sorry to hear that. And please never feel bad about not joining our video because dealing with family. We are family over everything here.
Yeah. So I also see some comments in the chat, and I think this is a really good conversation. There are dedicated wheel and tire cleaners, and then you have your dedicated wheel cleaner and your dedicated tire or rubber cleaner. What do you prefer, Gary? For me, to be honest with you, I know not everybody agrees because they don't like a lot of different products, but I don't mind a dedicated tire cleaner and a dedicated wheel cleaner. I don't mind it, but that's because I love cleaning my wheels and tires. And I'm also not running, a full-time business where efficiency and like speed is always something that I'm super worried about. What do you think? Do you prefer something that's all in one, or do you mind separate? And what does the chat think?
Man, it's funny you asked that because in the video that we made and that we talked about, right? I said, I don't want to nickel and dime everybody. I want one thing that does everything. If I could get one thing that does all, that for the paint and everything, I'd be like, boom, that's it, right? But the funny thing is, as a professional, I do use two different products. And I'll just tell you guys now, I use a lot of Dark Fury and I use White Wool 1000. And as far as efficiency goes, it's almost more efficient to do it that way because if you just have one, let's say 32-ounce bottle, you can run through that if you're doing like 2 cars in a day. So then you're back filling it up, you're doing something else, right? So I actually found it more efficient to have the 2 different cleaners, right? Everything's diluted, pre-diluted before my day of detailing goes, and then I just crank everything out, right? So it's tough.
Yeah.
It just depends, man.
Yeah. I do think, somebody had mentioned if the tire cleaner is going to get on the wheel and vice versa, make it one product, which I think obviously in the end, if it is a 2-product system, like you just want to make sure that it is safe, like, you know what I mean, for both the wheel and tire, if it's going to, potentially bleed onto one or the other. So somebody was saying combination and then use iron remover on wheels when needed.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see, Chingy, I just want an acid and a 2-in-1. I don't need an iron remover built in. Well, yeah, because an iron remover isn't always necessary. So I agree with that as well. And really, you shouldn't be using an iron remover every single time you clean your wheel. So sometimes I have a problem with an iron remover that is in a wheel cleaner because I just don't feel like that is always needed. Yeah, Chingy, you only add it if it's needed. That's how I feel. But I do want, if it is a product that it's in combination, I want it strong enough that it is going to clean the shit out of tires. I know that, like, what is it called? The ozonate browning. Is that what it's called? Like the ozonate tire something. Ivan, he uses the term. I don't always remember it, but I know we're supposed to leave some of that on there. For me, though, man, I like to see that tire bleed brown. Maybe that's just me.
And that might be why I switched to using both because I really hate Dark Fury on tires or any of those brown wheel cleaners on tires because it doesn't give you that satisfaction, right? So that's why I switched over to the White Wool 1000. Man, you hit that boom. I think it's a little bit of an acid base. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
What is your favorite though, by the way? Because I named a couple. I don't know if you feel comfortable doing that. But I know
the wheel and tire.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I named like go-to is the Yum system, Blaze Luminous. I love using hard wash on my wheels. Hard wash hits when you need it. Another one that I really have always liked, except I don't like the spray pattern, is CarPro's Retire. I always had great results with Carbo Retire. Again, I just don't like the spray pattern. It's a foaming cleaner. Anti-ozonate. Thank you, Paul. It's a foaming cleaner, but it just doesn't, there's just not enough real estate that it covers when you're spraying it. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Now, somebody else also put in the chat, Adam's Wheel and Tire. I still think Adam's Wheel and Tire hits. Like, I don't care who you are. If that's what you have on hand, if I ran out of wheel and tire cleaner today and I needed to go to Walmart or AutoZone, like, that is exactly what I would buy. I think Adam's Wheel and Tire still hits.
Yeah, so if I want, and I love what Salt from Detail said here. He's like, if you're a detailer, you should know enough about the vehicle.
I agree, Sal. I do.
I'm sorry, Saul from Details. I do apologize. That's exactly how I feel. There's some vehicles, like, I'll look at it and be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to go get my Dapper Details. And I know that's like a person that I met, and they just have like a really good tire and wheel cleaner. It's the best one I've found since I used to use like Gorilla Car Care. I know Pan did a video on them or post on them like a long time ago, and I found out about them. They had a very good one, and I like that one because I can throw it in the IK, I can throw it wherever, and it'll foam. And I know that it's a little bit more multi-purpose. But sometimes you'll look at it and be like, I need 2 separate ones because they're dedicated and they're going to – versatility sometimes is not the best, right? When you try to build something that does everything, there's usually going to be something left behind that it's not good at, I guess.
I mean, yeah, there's going to, I mean, yeah. And I guess the hardest part then is finding that balance, right? Because obviously I think most people do appreciate versatility, but you still have to have something that works while it's being versatile on everything, right? So I guess, like, when when you are creating a product or when you're using a product, like what do people ever compromise anything? For instance, like do you take like the strength versus the safety, or like speed versus control, or like cost versus performance? That's another thing, like cost. Oh, I don't know where Gary went. Like, I don't honestly care how much something costs if it works. I don't know how other people feel. Now, again, I'm not running a full-time detailing business. So the cost factor for me, like I will spend a couple extra bucks on a product if it hits. You know what I mean? So, I know a lot of people talk about, cost versus performance. Like I care more about the performance, not the cost. I don't know how other people feel. Now, the one that I won't compromise on, but often, is talked about, is the strength versus the safety, because obviously the stronger it gets, I feel probably the less safe it gets. Do you think that's a fair statement? That's where I really kind of, I haven't been able to find my balance yet. Like, do I want strength or safety? And I think I'd lean towards safety, but I also want a hell of a cleaner. So can you have both?
I think you just have to really know the product that you're using, and is it safe for you, right? Is it safe for you, the detailer, or is it safe when it runs off into the drain?
Yeah.
Those are the two kind of safety components. Regardless, I think you should probably be wearing gloves. Regardless,
Always.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. You always have those pink gloves on, and then I feel like so obligated. I'm like, look at these blue gloves. I'm fancy. So, no, you always are very safe, very cautious, and it's really something I look up to, because I don't take care of my body, as you guys can see. It just goes in, and one day it's gonna quit working.
I have from the very beginning, and I've just always been no glove, no love. Yeah. I just think about, I don't know. I took a class a long time ago, and this is something I think everybody knows now, is that your skin is the largest organ on your body, and whatever goes on you goes in you. So I just, that is what just constantly goes through my head. Like, if it's on me, it's in me, which sounds kind of weird saying that, but that's
About to go to the back room.
I'm just saying that I heard that, and ever since then I'm like, okay, no, like I don't, because again, they're chemicals, right? Yeah, and some are obviously more caustic than others. And that's like, I guess that's why when I hear acid, I do get freaked out.
Okay.
Definitely.
So while we're in this process, if you guys could give us a vote, let's say one is going to be you want a multi-purpose wheel and tire cleaner, and then two is going to be I want two different dedicated ones, just so we know.
Yeah, one for a combination, two for two separate products. What would please y'all? It's good when it's punching the lungs. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
When I'm choking, I'm like, hell no. Put that away.
Yeah, but so they say that, but then if you try to use super clean on a wheel and tire in a video, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
not great.
Well, yeah, don't get us on the super clean rant, because
it's I see. I don't have the history. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Don't get us on the super clean. Two. So there's a little bit of a mix, but I think for the most part, I'm seeing more ones.
I think they want good stuff as cheap as possible. Maybe that's another thing we talk about is like price.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Does that outweigh the performance though? Because the better the chemical, right, then the cost. And again, I don't know if this is a fair statement, but for me, the better the chemical, the better the performance. Maybe the cost goes up. So like, is there a compromise there between cost and performance?
Hey, you see what he said, the loser zero says, man, he just wants to make you happy.
I'll clean anybody's rolls. Sign me up.
Oh, I love that this guy here, he said something about you can call it nuke. What names are you thinking right now for the wheel and tire cleaner? I don't think we talked about this. We talked about another product.
Yeah, we did talk that, and that is funny, being that the wheel and tire was like the first thing that came to mind. But I think all of the names that we were talking about were for more of our like a polish compound, a soap, a foam. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I don't know that I've really even thought about a wheel cleaner. And I guess this is thank you for bringing that up, because I think this is good conversation too, because I think the naming of products is a big deal as well. Like, I think along with branding, like what you name products, I don't know what you guys think. Chat, tell me in the chat what you think. But if it's a name that's just stupid, for lack of a better word, I'm kind of like, what the hell is this? Like,
Just stupid wheel and tire.
I'm just like, I don't know. Like, there are some people who I know say, I just want it to say wheel and tire. Like, I just want to know that I'm using wheel and tire cleaner. Like, I think that was Pan's approach, right? Like, very simplistic.
I love
Or, but then you have Thor, who has their whole, line of names, based on Thor. Then you have Aaron from EOD, Phoenix EOD. He names his products, based on like a concept or a theme. So
All right.
that's
So
something that's important,
what does Christy want?
Good question. I have not thought of a wheel and tire cleaner name yet. That hasn't come to me yet. So now that's going to be ingrained in my mind. I haven't gotten that far. I'm still trying to make the chemical, let alone name it. I don't know yet.
I know. I love that. Like, when we first kind of came up with those really terrible AI concepts, it was just honest wheel and tire cleaner.
Yeah.
I love
it
that.
can be just as simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can always change the labels later. Although what I've learned is that changing labels aren't the easiest, because labels cost, and cost is, that's one of those costs that you have to think about, the whole label thing.
We should talk about the breakdown of that. Like, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not even there, guys. Again, I am call it penicillin. Straightforward wheel and tire cleaner. This would be a cool poll to put up on like Facebook and YouTube. Let's do that.
I'll put one on mine, and you throw one in yours, and I'll throw one.
And then we can come together. I think that would be fun. Again, like, the community's input on what to name or how to name a product. I think that'd be fun. Let's do that for sure. I think a lot of people in here were talking about, performance. I prefer performance over cost. Like I said, I would spend a few extra dollars if I knew that the product like just shined. Is that good for the, business person? And again, like if we are, somebody else asked, who we're making this line for. And I think that continues to be talked about. And I think that we have said we would prefer like a prosumer brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's where
I think that's what
makes it.
I think that's what makes our position really tough, right? Because although this is our brand and we're living and we're sweating and whatever, all the final decisions are always going to come like from us, and we're not always going to be like in charge of every single thing, right?
Yeah.
I think it's our idea or our thing to present ideas and explain the why, and we're kind of selling. This is a brand for all the people here in the chat, essentially, right? And we're trying to hone in all that knowledge and all those ideas and put products together and then sell that story to Eddie and Jamie.
Yeah, too much corny shit in this industry. Corny shit makes the world go round. I don't know. I think Jeff said it, and I think he said, don't make the consumer have to like translate things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't make somebody pick up a bottle and have to really work hard to figure out what it is. And I totally agree with that. So like, if we do decide to go with a name, like I think it should still say wheel and tire cleaner or something to that effect, right? On the bottle. Absolutely. All we got to do is beat Armor All. I hope so. Shoot. Come on now.
So Armor All got bought out by 3M, and they actually got I think that their formula now is the same one that Eagle One used to have, and Eagle One was like a pretty good wheel and tire cleaner in its day. So that's my little nugget.
Yeah. See, I've not heard of Eagle One. But yeah, I think I did back in the day probably in high school.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
pick up those like Armor All wipes, and I would think those were like the best thing ever until I realized, obviously now years later, like, God, what was I doing?
Why is my dash so sticky? I get that
Yeah,
comment all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
well, it's melted.
Yes, and then
It's
you would
melted.
get like little brown, like little drips or streaks, like I
Yeah,
don't know if it's off gassing or what it is, and I'd be like, "Ooh, this is just like syrup."
yeah.
Disgusting.
All right.
Um,
So yeah, don't settle for anything similar to Eagle One. Yeah. Like I said, this is a long time ago. That when we first started out, I was like, oh, this stuff isn't too bad. So obviously that brand's not on the shelf anymore. So probably not great. you know. Um, what do you think is next? I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I think a lot of people want to see progress. And we were kind of building, and I think we've got it now. Uh, you've mentioned a couple things. I'm curious to see what the chat wants to see as far as progression and what they hope that we bring out next. Like, obviously, I think we're going to be at Wheels and Tires now. What's next? What do you want to see next? And I'm curious to see like what the chat wants next.
um, I had talked about from the very beginning when Ivan asked me the first 3 products that I wanted to make. And the first 3 products I had said were a wheel and tire, a decon wash, wheel and tire, a decon wash, and then a detail spray. So those were kind of the 3 things. I've kind of, gone away from the detail spray. There are so many good ones. I don't know that I want to focus on that right now, but I definitely want to focus on some kind of decon wash. Everybody always comes out with just a soap first, I feel like, and I kind of wanted to do things a little differently, but you guys are going to see that we do have something coming out here in the near future that we are going to be building a system around. And so with that system, wheels and tires made sense, and then some kind of decontamination wash, decon wash, maybe line. I'm not really sure yet. But I think we've talked about that in my terms. What about you?
Um, I'm thinking about like doing. I'm wondering if when we'll get to the interior of the car, because I like doing interiors. So I think it'd be cool to maybe test some of that stuff. But I want to just get like, I'm very organized. So wheels and tires, and then the next thing, like you said, I think that decon wash sounds real nice, and just kind of getting into like the soap.
Mhm.
Curious, and kind of another question too is, will we have a wash and wax?
A wash and wax?
Yeah, like one of the little combos.
I'll be honest with you. I am not too particular on wash and waxes because most people want to wash their car with just a surfactant-based soap that's going to clean and not leave anything behind. Nothing that's going to mask any protection that they might already have on the car. So I don't know. I'm always a little weary about wash and waxes. I think wash and waxes, I think that's what you see like in a lot of, like, obviously when you go through a like car wash, that's what you get, right? Like you get that wash and wax, right? Like something that shines up your car. But when I think about soaps, I want something that just cleans. And again, this is only my perspective. So obviously, right, that's where the
Yeah,
collaboration comes. But I like just a cleaning soap. Um, I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm gonna
What do
try
you
to. Yeah, that's where I'm hoping. I don't like the influx of wash and waxes, and the reason why everybody's seeing that in that consumer market, right, is that's how they can tick the price up. From what I understand, soaps are the least profitable chemical that a company can make. So if they can add a CI or S or a ceramic or any other type of word in there, they're going to, right? Because that's going to help them take that low margin item and take it up
Yeah,
a couple notches.
yeah, yeah. And I think another thing, and I'll put up the banner here too, that, we're thinking about this in terms of like, real world responsibility and education, because again, a big part of what we're doing, right, is this whole charity aspect where we're going to be teaching, people who don't know anything about detailing how to detail using our chemicals. So, whatever we come up with, it's understanding that, the intent of our chemicals, they have to do what they're designed to do. Because if I'm telling somebody that, this is going to clean your wheel and tire, then it better clean your wheel and tire. I feel like instructions should be simplistic, right? And I feel like, again, that safety aspect has to really be there. So I think this is where I really toy. And I think we've talked about this, and, I'll let the community know. Like, this is where I really kind of toy with the idea of who our customer is, because on one hand, I do like the prosumer idea. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking that because the basis of this company is to be teaching youth or be teaching people who don't know what they're doing how to do this, then does that change my customer base? Does that change who I am making this chemical for? Does that still make it a prosumer chemical if my idea is to put it in the hands of people who are complete newbies? Does that make sense? That's where I really am still like faltering. I don't want to say newbies, but like people who are just coming into, the industry, or people who are just learning, or people who, need a business adventure, and this is what we're giving them.
Sorry, looking at the chat, there's some people that are saying that they're still confused with the concept, and I will promise you guys, like, we are still learning and adapting. And then they say that a couple of people said that they want to see a product. And like I said, given the time that we kind of launched this in the holidays, there was no way that we could have came up with a product. And if we would have, there would have been criticism, right? This is just detail code. This is just luminous. This is just, whatever it is, right? We are trying to authentically move, diligently interviewing different potential partners, and we're trying to create something that's very authentic to Honest Car Care. And I'm very proud of the progress that we've made so far, and I think people will start to see that uptick in not only visibility, but removing that red tape a little bit.
Yeah. And Adamo, it does sound like two different concepts. You're absolutely right. And somebody else and I know that's where my mind is going. It constantly falters. It goes back and forth. But I think Ulysses said it. If the product works, it doesn't matter the skill level. And you're right. I didn't really think of it that way. If it works and you teach somebody how to use it, it shouldn't matter. I absolutely agree. I agree with that. Yeah. We're about 52 minutes, but I kind of wanted to do something called like a rapid fire. And I wanted to kind of do this with the chat. So if you guys would play along with me, I would super appreciate it. I just am curious. So I'm going to ask just a couple questions, and chat, I want you to answer for me. And Gary, I think we've kind of already talked about this, throughout our conversation. And I think we've talked about this today, but just a rapid fire. So you tell me, foam or no foam on a wheel and tire cleaner? If the chat will play along, I would love it. Foam or no foam? Do you care? Do you want it to foam? Do you care if there's no foam? I think, Gary, you have made it clear. I made it clear, foam. Thank you, Mayan, for playing along. Foam. I know some people don't care if it foams. If it cleans, I like foam. Thanks, you guys. Definite foam. Oh, look at this is why I love the chat. Perfect. All right. Do you care, acid or non-acid? If you're going for a wheel and tire cleaner, and I know you guys are going to say it depends on the wheel and tire, but if you had to choose, would you go with an acid or non-acid? Gary, if you had to choose, what would you choose?
Non-acid.
Okay, we have Mayan saying acid here. Acid's quick. It's speedy, right? It is aggressive. So we have acid, we have non-acid. I'm still going to go with non-acid, I think, at the end of the day. AK says acid. Now, if it was an acid like Ragnarok, then I'd be gold. But I don't know that anything hits like Ragnarok. We've got to get you some of that in your hands, Gary, because I think you'd be blown away by Ragnarok. Yeah.
I want to get Honest Car Care wheel and tire in my hands, and hopefully somebody says that about that one.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
and then we raise a bunch of money for charity. That's why we're here.
There you go. So I think I've already asked this one, so I'll skip this one. Gary, you already brought up the one product or multiple, and I think most people chose one. Is that what you would say?
Yeah,
I think in the chat, most people chose one.
Especially for the prosumer market that we're trying to hit.
Yeah. Um, are you okay? So touchless or agitate? What do you care if it's touchless? Are you okay with agitating? Touchless or brush? Oh, however you want to put it. What would your expectations be? I don't know that I ever expect a wheel and tire cleaner to be touchless. And if I ever feel like it is, like, whew, that's a big deal. But I don't know. Do you ever really get a wheel and tire cleaner clean? It's like that. It's something that I think, hear a lot about controversial in the industry is, can you ever do a touchless wash? Like, is a touchless wash really cleaning your car, or is agitation necessary? Which I would say it is, but that's just me. Easy agitation. Okay, so some people are saying touchless, some people are saying agitation. Okay. Oh, Dan, you just came up with my next one. Smell or no smell? Do we care? Gary, do you care? If our product smells or doesn't smell, do we want it to smell like tropical fruit, peaches and cream?
I think that they missed that part because that was probably the funniest part of it. But yeah, man. In case you guys, well, I know you don't know that part, and I don't know if whoever put that full video back out or even tried to, but when I first came into this, all the products that they had were like tropical citrus mango fruit punch, tire and wheel cleaner, and I was just like,
I'm sorry. Chelsea and I had the smells down. I don't care.
all right, girls, like ladies, like let's get it, man.
We went back to like 90s Bath and Body. We were like, ooh, what did we used to smell like in high school? Cucumber melon.
One of them said love spell. I'm like, okay, let's do
That
it.
it smells like sweet tarts. Love Spell is a Victoria's Secret scent.
Oh,
And it was amazing. Okay.
love spell, dude.
And I guess what we should say, right? Because in terms of our like safety and PPE, like we never should be smelling chemicals, right? But
Unless they smell like love spell.
like we all smell chemicals, you know? At least I do. And I'll sit there and I'll smell them longer than I have to, or I should. I don't know. Yeah, so that was my rapid fire, guys. And again, I think it'll be fun to put out a poll and get you guys involved with the naming of products. I think that'll be fun, especially for wheel and tire. So let's wrap this up. Final thoughts, Gary. We want to be careful on using, like, we're going to create the best product because that's subjective, right? We just want to create something that works. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
Right?
Yeah.
I hope that's what I hope. At the end of this, it is a product that hits hard, that does its job, and that, another thing, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to drag this on. I know we all have, time constraints, but it's got, the ease of use has to be there as well, right? Like, it's got to be easy to use, I think. So that's something we didn't really talk about, but yeah, at the end of the day, just make it work well. I absolutely agree.
For sure.
So yeah. So please, you guys keep in tune to, again, the testing that we will have on both of our channels. Again, I should have something posted. I'm hoping today is Saturday, right? Being off of work for 3 weeks, I don't ever know what like day or time it is. So it is Saturday. Hopefully it's posted. I'll get the editing done and hopefully I can post it Monday morning again, so you can see what I've been doing so far. I did get more products in the mail yesterday, and the day before. So I have some more products to test, which I'm really excited to use. And I know, Gary, you have things in your possession that you're testing as well. So.
And I think given the way that the chat's going, I know we've already kind of done this once here on this network. I'm going to go ahead and get back on live on my own channels. And anybody that still has some reservations or wants to just talk through some things, I invite you guys to have a face-to-face here on the live, or I'll just continue to talk through the chat and see if we can get through some stuff. That's the best thing I can continue to do, is just be an open book and just try to talk through some stuff. So yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on a Saturday. We will go back to our regular Thursday podcast. This was on the fly, but I thank you guys for spending your evening with us. And with that being said, we out. Are you good?
I'm good.
Bye.
See you guys.